On today's show,
we get set for Chandler Parsons' Mavericks homecoming and discuss Damian Lillard's slumping Blazers.
In Worst of the Week, a couple usual suspects are back at it again, including LeBron. What?
And we have a big cat sighting in a brand new edition of our Top 10 Plays.
It's Friday, November 18th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're joining us live right now on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, is Tass Mellis.
Friday energy!
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max. We call him Merv now, but his name's Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Merv. And last, certainly not least, over there, it's the bearded one. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! TK, you have your computer in front of you. What's going on?
I certainly do. I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And guys, ESPN did a pretty funny story about the perils of being tall in the NBA. They asked 66 players 6'8" or taller, a whole bunch of questions like what other sport would you play if you were a different size, what's the best thing about being tall, and do you get fewer calls because of your size? But my favorite question was what is the worst thing about being tall? The answers were pretty good. 17% said it's finding clothes that fit, sure. 24% said it's traveling in cars and airplanes. But the number one answer, 26% said it's hitting my head on doorways. A 7'1" player explained, you hit the doorway when you're tall, you get used to it, but it hurts a lot. I bet it does. But it brings us to today's question. What's the worst thing about being super tall in the NBA? I'm not super tall, but I'm pretty tall. And
You're tall.
I mean, I'm tall. I'm 6'5". I'm not super tall. And finding clothes is hard. But the worst part for me is looking top heavy. Because if you wear tight pants and something big up top, you end up looking like Gru from Despicable Me. It's not the greatest look, especially with
Oh, there's the beard on him.
Man, my legs are skinny. Thanks, Dad. Anyways, we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter what's the worst thing about being super tall. Send us your best tweets to #TheStarters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get your tweets in, guys. Fun show here on Friday, as always. Tass's Worst of the Week, and we'll count down the top 10 plays from the past 7 days. But let's start with a little Is This News? Trey has rounded up some of the recent NBA headlines. He's going to pitch them to us, and we're going to determine whether or not they're actually news. Trey, first one.
All right, our first headline comes from ESPN, and it says, Grizzlies Chandler Parsons bracing for Dallas boos. Is this news?
I think this is news because I think this might be one where the fans actually get it right. Take it back to 2014. Dirk takes a lot less money, 8 per year, so Chandler Parsons can sign there. About 16 per year, 2 years, plus an option. He plays those 2 years, doesn't play in the postseason at all because of injuries, has an option, he says, nah, I'm out of here. And I can understand why Dallas fans are a little upset at that. It worked out for Chandler Parsons financially. It's totally his right to leave. But if I'm a Dallas fan, and I know our star year after year after year takes less and less money since Mark Cuban blew up that championship team, haven't won a playoff series since they won a championship team, I'm upset. I could see why boos come.
Yeah, I just wonder if the fans even really care that much about him himself. I mean, the case you're making about Dirk is legitimate, but this is actually about the player himself, and he didn't really have a great 2 years there in Dallas.
Oh, no.
He had some okay moments there, especially last season when he came back, he was playing okay. But if you're a Mavs fan, you see Chandler Parsons go, he was only here for a couple of seasons. Do I really have the energy to be? This is not LeBron going back to Cleveland or Kevin Durant going back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you're right. They almost might be happy if you're a Mavs fan that Parsons took the money in Memphis because he didn't play for the first stretch of this season. He is now, of course, back in the lineup. He's on a minutes restriction because of all of the injuries. They've got Harrison Barnes, who's putting up great numbers. Here's why they are going to boo, though. They're 2-8. And this is speaking from experience as a Raptors fan, Tass. When your team sucks, as the Mavericks currently do, and they've had a lot of injuries, Dirk and Darren Williams, when your team sucks, you need something to get
an outlet.
You need an outlet.
Right.
You need an outlet.
Right.
Because when Vince Carter would come back to the Raptors and play up in Toronto, Tracy McGrady, even Chris Bosh at times, when the Raptors were horrible, fans loved to boo the bad guy or the traitor or whatever you want to call it. Just because you're not cheering for your team, you might as well boo the other guy. I think they're going to be quite loud.
That's right, but you're talking about a franchise player. in Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady.
Sure.
Chandler was not that sort of type of player. He's a good player. He's a good, solid, all-round player, but he wasn't going to alter that franchise from not being a contender into a title contender, even if he was fully healthy. And again, the Mavs could have re-signed him. Mark Cuban had to offer him probably the max to get him to sign. But if you're the Mavs, you're like, would you rather have Chandler Parsons at the max or Harrison Barnes? I think right now you would say, I'll take Harrison Barnes.
Sure. Yeah, because he was injured. Parsons' numbers, actually, when he was healthy the last couple of years, are pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you look at this Memphis Grizzlies team that he's on right now, they just beat the Los Angeles Clippers. If he's a good player on that team, if he is the third best player on that team, which he obviously would be, but he's playing to his capabilities, his team is a playoff contender. They're a lock for the playoffs, and they can upset a team or two. I do believe in this Memphis Grizzlies team, if he plays to his capabilities. That being said, he's 5 games into his season thus far, and he's scored a total of 34 points.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's on a minutes restriction, but it's just disappointing, these last few years for Chandler Parsons.
Boo away, Mavs fans. You're 2-8. You need something to get pumped up about right now. All right, Trey, next headline.
Our next headline comes from Yahoo Sports, and it says, Damian Lillard on the slumping Blazers. We kind of suck right now. Is this news?
Yeah, this is news, I think. I think there's good news and bad news to this. The good news is, if you remember the Blazers last year, they weren't great when we got to Christmas. They were 11-20. They were one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And this year, they're 7-6, much better, of course, than 11 or 20 projection. They're 29th defensively. This is what's getting them killed, right? That's the good news. It's like, it's happened before. You've bounced back. They went on the crazy run last year and got in the playoffs. The bad news is when you look at the 7-6 record, even their wins, they've struggled against some lesser teams in like the Kings and Nuggets. The last 2, they got killed by the Bulls and the Rockets. They're just getting hammered. They can't stop anyone. And if their offense isn't there on a given night, then they're not winning a lot of these games. 4 of their 6 losses have been by 17 or more points. That's just bad. So it's definitely news to me, but I wouldn't go crazy yet. Lillard, I get it. I like to hear a superstar almost say this in a way.
Yeah.
By the way, he included himself. He's saying we, like myself included. I'm struggling. We got to turn this around. But you're 7-6. You don't got to go overboard here.
He and McCollum are 2 very good offensive players, and they can sometimes paper over their defensive cracks. And now we're starting to see how bad their defense are. They're a terrible rebounding team. They give up a ton of points in the paint and fast break points. So if they miss a shot, they don't get back and teams just run it down the other end and score. They give up so many points so easily to other teams. They need to get some defensive stops because I think offensively, when you've got that 2-headed monster, it's like Lowry and DeRozan in Toronto, Steph and Clay, whatever. CJ and Dame can get their shot anytime they want. They can put points on the board, but it's no good if down the other end, the other team's just walking into the paint and scoring anytime they want.
He said he's not too worried about this team and that in years past things have been a lot worse. So I'm not too worried because he's an even-keeled guy. I love him as a leader. I love Damian Lillard, the leader. He's cool and comfortable. He's smooth. He uses Jergens moisturizer just like me. His skin is smooth.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, I've seen it in the locker room. Yeah, we tweeted about it. We're cool about it. I just think he's an even-keeled guy, and I think the guys follow suit. They just have to follow suit. They take the persona of their leader, and they have nothing to worry about.
I will say, though, the slow start last year, that was everyone was like, oh, that's expected. No one thought the Blazers were going to be any good anyway. This year, 7-6, not a brutal start, of course. There's high expectations.
Sure.
This is a team everyone, people are like, they should win a playoff series. They should go deep in playoffs because they're good.
Top 4
so
was
it's a
their
different,
goal, for sure.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if they bounce back. Trey, next headline.
All right, our next headline comes from The Score, and it reads, Lakers Walton makes Russell high-five teammates. Is this news?
Sure it is. This is news because the Lakers have some great camaraderie. We got to high five more. That's why they're winning basketball games. And so D'Angelo Russell comes to the sideline, and Luke Walton says, "Hey, don't just go to the bench. No, go back.
Are we 100%
Get out of here. Go,
sure
go,
that's
high five. Go high five right now. Right now."
That's a disappointed dad look.
Because you can see, I think you can because you can see Randall has his hand out.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And Russell doesn't see it. So I don't think Russell's snubbing him in any way. He just didn't see it.
This has now become a study in the NBA. The Phoenix Suns reportedly
That's
this preseason were studying how many high fives their guys were giving because it helps out camaraderie.
Correct me if I'm wrong. D'Angelo Russell has been snubbed on high fives before, handshakes before.
It's true.
Maybe that's why he's like, I'm just going to go sit down. It's like every time I try and high five someone, I'm left hanging. But then, Coach Walton, Dad Walton there. So get out there, high five those guys.
Luke Walton's impact on this team has been incredibly positive so far. And I think this is just another little attention to detail thing that he wants to see from his guys. Build together, work together. Everyone wins together, you lose together. And again, Russell's not in any way trying to big note him or anything like that. He just didn't see it, and Luke Walton's like, get over there, come on, get together, guys.
We've got to use our 5 senses more. Mentally, if you touch your teammates, you go back and sit down on that bench when you get into the timeout and you think, just subconsciously, you're thinking, all right, I got to do something for my boys.
All right,
Yeah,
interesting.
sure.
All right, I think we got time for one more headline, Trey.
All right, our final headline comes from Philly.com, and it reads, Embiid tries to trademark the process to sell Shirley Temples.
What?
This news?
This is not news at all.
No, we know he
Athletes-
drinks
Big news in
shirt.
drink world.
Athletes and celebrities, they do this stuff all the time, the trademarking.
but we-
I've trademarked Good Morning Sweet World, alarm clocks, yeah.
How are the sales?
This is horrible. But I've trademarked it. I've got it. I have it. No, this is pretty funny though, just because Joel Embiid has talked about, there was jokes about he was being overweight when he was obviously out, and that he said, I usually drink 3 or 4 pitchers of Shirley Temples per day.
What, and he was overweight?
I don't know why that would ever do it, but no, not news.
Crazy news if it is, but you know what? You say you got to make money. You never know how long your career is going to be in the NBA. If you can get a side gig, a side hustle, go for it.
Side gig selling Shirley Temples?
Sam Hinkie.
Anything, man.
Sam Hinkie should get some kickback on this, though, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's his
trust the
slogan,
process
really.
comes from him,
He
and then
needs a
Joel
real-
Embiid has.
If he was on
jumped
Shark
on.
Tank, he would definitely want 40% of all sales.
You're probably right. All right, lots more still to come when we come back. Tass's worst of the week.
Welcome back to the show. Now's the point of the week where we hand out the dishonor to someone in the NBA family that has done wrong in the eyes of the starters. It's time for the worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
This week's worst of the week are the 5-7 New York Knicks. 3 incidents give the Knicks their second worst of the week dishonor of this young season. Incident number 1. Carmelo Anthony clearly committed a loose ball foul because he jumped on Amir Johnson's back and he complained, was issued a technical from Tony Brothers. He kept griping with Tony and was ejected. Dear God. Melo's wife, Lala, took to Twitter, said it was personal between Brothers and her man. That didn't change anything. Knicks lost by 28. Incident 2. Derrick Rose complained that he hasn't got calls this season, unrelated. After being found not liable in a sexual assault lawsuit, Rose is trying to recoup $70,000 in legal fees from the accuser, but the woman has appealed the case. Okay, that wasn't one event, but the drama never ends with D. Rose, and that connects us to incident number 3. In an interview with ESPN's Jackie McMullen, Knicks president Phil Jackson inexplicably started telling a tale about LeBron as a member of the Heat while visiting the Cavs, and that LBJ wanted to stay overnight with his mom and, quote, posse. The word posse and its racial connotation rightfully bothered LeBron and his business partner, Maverick Carter. They voiced their displeasures publicly, but Phil stayed quiet after telling a story about 2 teams he wasn't affiliated with whatsoever. Kind of odd. The Knicks, your worst of the week. I wanted an apology from Phil Jackson, just something
Yeah,
to
address it.
outline what happened. But we also have a runner-up. It's LeBron James for what he said post-game Tuesday.
People think I'm gonna slow down, but I'm only getting stronger.
He said that, and then he sat out the next day. How does that make sense? I'm only getting stronger. I'm gonna sit. That doesn't make sense.
Hold on. Is this the 3rd week in a row you've given LeBron some sort of form of worst of the week?
Yeah, I'm just trying to squeeze it in here. Yes, you're right. First week, the Cleveland baseball team.
ruthless,
The
man.
Cleveland baseball team was cursed because LeBron James threw a party. The Cleveland baseball team lost, and then last week, he got together with Dwayne Wade's tailor. Their tailors are
man.
collaborating.
Yeah, you are-
He lost a bet, and now their tailors are collaborating
Yeah.
because he's wearing a Cubs outfit when they go visit the Miami Heat,
Wow.
or the Chicago Bulls, I should say. And they're tailors.
Okay.
Are tailors. Tailors.
I know you're
don't
half joking here with the
Yes,
LeBron thing.
totally.
But I am curious, do you guys have any problem at all with LeBron James resting 10 games into the season as he did in the Cavs loss to the Pacers? the other
No.
night?
He's a 4-time
No problem.
MVP, 3-time champ. His team was 9-1. He has earned the right to sit out games and to rest his body and to get himself right for the playoffs. He's done this in the past. It's this whole maintenance program so that he keeps himself fresh. All jokes aside, he has no reason to play some of those games. Why not just let the team go without him, see how they can cope?
They did lose.
Fine, who cares?
But you don't-
Who cares? They're 9-2. If they were struggling and he did it, or if he wasn't playing very well and he did it, then perhaps it would be a different issue. But he's probably the second best player we've ever seen in the NBA. He's achieved and accomplished so much. He has the right to set out a game if he wants.
I think it helps his MVP case when he
Yeah.
sits out and they
Absolutely.
lose. So his MVP campaign manager, kudos to you, well done. And the second thing, doctors say that these guys should sit more. So who are we to say? I mean, guys are sitting all over the league.
And we've heard stories like LeBron spends $1 million a year to get his body right for playing. There's nobody that knows his body better than LeBron. He's earned the benefit of the right. Sit when you want. Sit out the whole season, come back for the finals, and score 40 a game. It's fine.
Yeah, if you believe resting in November is the exact same as resting in April when you've locked up a playoff spot, and that the weight of all that rest helps you, then absolutely.
Yeah,
Why
I mean,
would, because that's what some people say. Well, why are you doing it 10 or 11 games into the start of the season? Like, why not wait a little bit? 25, 30. When you get to April and you got a playoff spot locked up.
You just need to look at Tim Duncan and what the Spurs did, though. They prolonged his career by resting him earlier in the season just at intervals. So I think that's what LeBron and the Cavs are kind of looking at right now.
If you're a Pacers fan, that night in Indy, though, you're upset that LeBron's not playing. That's the truth.
Fair.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, top 10 plays of the week. I got another great week here. Back with the starters, we asked you earlier in the show, what do you think the worst thing is about being super tall? Hashtag the starters. You jumped on Twitter. Trey, you got a few of the best answers.
Yeah, Dustin says it's when you're dancing and it's hard to make out because she's 2 feet shorter than you. Maybe meet in the middle. Break it down low. That's what I say. Troy says urinals. Just use the gravity, man. It's fine. You can use the short one. Trust me. And Giorgio says, you seem to walk into cobwebs a disproportionate amount of times compared to other people, and that is terrible.
Oh.
You don't look like more of an idiot when they're just walking and then all of a sudden,
Right.
no thanks.
Just because no one else is hitting them.
Nobody else sees them, and you're
Yeah.
up there in the trees. Ugh.
Interesting.
I'm covered in cobwebs 90% of the time.
I think there's
People
one in
say,
your
do you
beard.
dye your beard? No, it's actually
Just
just pure
cobwebs.
cobwebs.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's a Friday staple here on the starters. It's time to count down the top 10 plays of the week. At number 10, they say fear the deer, but first you got to catch the deer.
Wow.
And Jabari Parker goes around the back on the fly. Nice finish, too. That's a big guy.
Yeah, 6'8".
Agile move.
That's nice.
Bucks like it.
Two rarities here in number 9. First, a Danilo Gallinari highlight sighting and a reverse dunk on someone's face. A two-hander right in Aaron Baines' mask grill.
That's why he wears the mask. He just doesn't want to get whacked.
Oh, that's a wicked shot.
That's awesome.
That is a rare play there at number 8. This one's not rare. We've seen it every week, I think. Hassan Whiteside devours a shot.
Oh.
It's the block / steal. Dante, gotta throw it higher.
Yeah, it's like he's got a balloon in his
Throw
hand.
it higher, man. But, wow, give me that. Crazy. But we've seen that every week.
I know.
Number 7, Jeff T. Cut, dribble, yo-yo dribble, whatever you call it. That's beautiful stuff. Serge Ibaka gets lost on this. See ya.
Nice.
Shout out to Chris Paul on that one.
Yeah.
Shout out to God. Sham got him.
Yeah,
Johnny Wall. And a rare JT dunk.
At number 6, it's Blazers big man Myers Leonard cocking it back and throwing it down on Caspi, who sort of ducks a little. He get out of the way.
It's not quite as scary with that man bun, though. is
I think
it,
it's
really?
more impressive. It's a lot of hair to get up in the air.
At number 5, Kevin Durant, part of his duties, clearing the glass. Nice job getting Devin Booker and then Steph. This is part of his job description as well.
Yeah.
Toilet bowl.
He hit the rim. Shouldn't count with Steph Curry.
Does he get an assist on this play as well, Durant? Like, off the backboard?
That's
good
interesting.
Just a leisurely,
Really makes you think.
leisurely dribble up the court. Flies it in. Yeah.
He knows that's going in the top 10. For sure. At number 4, Tristan Thompson, he's going to power through and posterize 2 Pacers.
Oh, yeah.
Both of them named Miles. We got Miles Turner and CJ Miles.
Double T, double feet, double Pacers, double Miles.
Oh, yeah. What does it mean? There was a double rainbow after this game.
Double Bulls plays in number 3. We cheated, snuck 2 in, just like Ricky snuck that pass.
Touchdown!
Wow.
Big cat.
Anthony Towns. Look how agile that cat is. To catch,
What? Right
throw
on,
down
buddy.
there.
That's all right.
It's true. Doesn't need Ricky on this play. 2 pumps. Gotta catch Wolves games.
Who
They're
did he
exciting.
ride there? TLC?
Yeah, TLC.
Yeah.
He didn't want to jump.
A little genuine pony and TLC there. At number 2, we have ourselves a unicorn sighting. Kristaps Porzingis on the fast break gets the oop from Jennings.
He was fine.
And
That
one.
could have ended badly.
Yeah, everyone was okay. Oh, Bainesy making another appearance
Yeah,
there.
John Lua goes deep into the crowd on that one.
unbelievable finish, and unbelievable snarl.
An unbelievable jam at number 1 here. 7 seconds left. OKC up 3. Just dribble out the clock. Get fouled. No, this is Russell Westbrook. Oh, monstrous jam. A lefty, monstrous jam.
Dagger, I just still, even though I've seen it a million times, I still can't quite figure out how he does it.
Oh, man, on a shot blocker, too.
Yeah. Big guy.
Yeah. There it is, Westbrook at number 1. As soon as that dunk happened, we locked that one into the number 1 spot. Agree, disagree, let us know. Hashtag the starters. One more break. When we come back, it's the Stash Man's very solid play. Back with the starters. Quick look at last night's pick and play. Tess and I had the Jazz. We were wrong. Not a whole lot of scoring in that game, but the Bulls pulled it out. I'm brutal. Look at this. 5-13. I'm an embarrassment. Tonight's picks. Yeah, I have to do this at this point. We're running out of time in November. The 3 guys here back in the Blazers. I'll take the Pelicans at home in an eventual loss.
Welcome back, Drew.
Lee, where are we going for VSP?
We're going to Minnesota, and it's one from the Philadelphia 76ers. Where's Ersan Ilyasova? Bobby Kov knows. There he is.
Bobby Cov?
Yeah.
Bobby Cov.
Robert Covington is Bobby
There
Cobb.
it is. What beautiful pass, beautiful finish.
What
That's
are
I
you
call
talking about?
A very solid play.
All right.
You look like you could star in a Bobby Cov movie. Oh, Buddy Cov.
Stash Watch. Lee's raising money for Men's Health. You guys are doing a great job of
flex
getting
those
those
lips.
donations in. Go to Movember.com, search for Leos. We're over 4 Gs.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to 10K.
Wow.
So please, any small donation counts. All right, guys, the Drop podcast we recorded this morning, it's up. We discuss which team has the best young talent, Rudy Gay trade rumors, and Lee talks about the challenge of approaching Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett was in here yesterday.
KG Area 21, that's right.
And I was getting my makeup done, and just as I finished, he was right there, and I thought, I'll go up and introduce myself to KG. It was like he was on the court again. He was talking and moving, and I was like, oh, this is a little too heavy for me right now.
Like
And
he was intense.
Yeah. And I was
He-
like, I like them to be sort of on a couch when they can't see me. I can come up from behind and then just be like,
Hey!
and the funny thing is, KG was with Nate Robinson, who even Nate seemed to be a little bit like, oh man, this guy is crazy. And I played with him.
Go catch the drop. We got a fan sign.
Yeah, Joe and Kelly all the way from Australia again at their very first NBA game. And they took this sign along. Great job, guys. If you got a sign, send it in.
Excellent stuff. Saturday night here on the network. Wolves and Grizzlies starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, coverage at 7:30. Bulls and Clippers, your nightcap. So keep an eye for that again on Saturday night. That's it for us. See you next week.
All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, if you have a pen and you have an apple, you have an Apple Pen.
Search that up.
Viral videos.
Embrace the weekend, people. Apple Pen.